Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today guys, several things to discuss as usual, but I promised you to explain the Jose Mourinho situation, what's going on at Real Madrid, some more bits to mention also on more players. Let's jump into it together. Here we are guys, a new video, new updates for you. Today we have to talk and to explain the whole situation happening around one of the biggest names in the football managers business, Jose Mourinho, and one of the biggest clubs in the world, Real Madrid. Because the reunion is a possibility, and that's not a surprise today. If you're following the channel, I told you already 2 weeks ago, last week again, and also in one of the most recent videos, about Jose Mourinho desire. And that's a crucial point. The first point we need to confirm, that's not something new I'm telling you today, it's something I've been confirming for the recent weeks, is that Jose Mourinho is absolutely keen and ready to return to Real Madrid. Jose Mourinho would love to return to Real Madrid. Jose Mourinho feels a special energy with the club, has an excellent relationship with the president, Florentino Perez. So the connection Mourinho-Real Madrid is for sure a crucial point. With the club, with the fans, Mourinho really appreciated also the support he had from Real Madrid fans recently, and also, of course, with the president. So on Mourinho's side, the yes to Real Madrid is not in doubt at all. On the other side, it's important to mention what's happening at Real Madrid. In a video yesterday I told you, before all the news today, Florentino Perez will be the man deciding completely on himself who is going to be the next Real Madrid manager. Florentino Perez over the recent years always wanted to seek advice from people close to him, people in the board, the close circle of Florentino Perez deciding together with him about Real Madrid managers. But now Florentino wants to go all in personally to decide who has to be the man to bring Real Madrid back to success after another difficult season. And Jose Mourinho has a very good connection with Florentino. So that's a point for sure. Then it's important to mention also what's happening behind the scenes. Jorge Mendes, one of the most powerful agents in the world, is working on this one, is working on this possibility. And Jorge Mendes already made sure with Real Madrid that they are informed about the situation of Jose Mourinho. Not now, it's something I told you last week, so it already started some time ago. And Jorge Mendes' message to Real Madrid has been clear. Mourinho would be keen on this possibility. Mourinho for Real Madrid would be prepared to wait a little bit. So that's an important point, because Benfica, and that's the final crucial point I will discuss with you, and I will bring you into the contract situation and what's happening with Benfica. But Mourinho would be willing to wait for Real Madrid. Mourinho would be enthusiastic to return, but this completely depends on Florentino Perez. Mourinho is not the only candidate for the Real Madrid job. There are at least 3 more managers under consideration at Real Madrid. So there is a short list of managers being considered. But for sure, Jose Mourinho would be ready. And Real Madrid are aware about that. And then there is the contract situation. Real Madrid are also aware of Jose Mourinho contract situation at Benfica. When Jose Mourinho signed for Benfica in September 2025, the agreement was also including a clause on both sides, Benfica and Mourinho. Both sides could activate this clause. And it's a clause to let Jose Mourinho leave the club for 6 million euros gross, around 3-4 million euros net. So with this money, it's a possibility to pay the clause and make sure Jose Mourinho is free from his contract. Why they included that clause on both club and manager side? Because Jose Mourinho signed for Benfica in September and they had to plan for the elections in order to understand about the president, if maybe they wanted another coach, and these kind of situations. Now, that situation is already the past. Benfica made clear to Jose Mourinho that they would like to continue. Benfica want Mourinho to stay, and Benfica have already started discussing with Jose Mourinho about next season. The targets, players to go, players to stay. So Benfica loved the impact made by Jose Mourinho and they want to continue with Mourinho. Benfica would be ready to remove the clause from the contract and continue with Mourinho. But the clause is still there, and so Jose Mourinho is willing to wait to understand what happens with Real Madrid in order to make a final decision on his future. This clause is not always valid. That's an important point. This clause is valid, to my understanding, until the final days of May. So there is a break clause into his contract, but it's not for the whole summer. So end of May, everything should be clarified if they want to go with the clause. Otherwise, there is always time to try to discuss club to club, negotiate and talk. But if they want to activate the clause, the timing is end of May. So now, Real Madrid have Jose Mourinho eventual green light. Real Madrid are aware of his availability. Real Madrid are aware of his contract situation. Now it's on Real Madrid to decide. But for sure, a big, big story. Just wanted to tell you something more, guys, on Real Madrid. I wanted to bring you once again into the Eduardo Camavinga situation. I keep receiving many questions on this one because we had different reports. But I keep insisting. According to my information, Eduardo Camavinga wants to stay and continue at Real Madrid. Eduardo Camavinga wants to fight for his place at Real Madrid. He knows it's been a difficult season, maybe also an unlucky season in some moments, but Camavinga wants to fight for his place at Madrid. I keep confirming this. So the desire of the player is to stay at Real Madrid. Then, Real Madrid are not actively working to sell Camavinga. From Real Madrid, the position is, if a big proposal comes in the summer and Camavinga could be open to discuss that proposal, Real Madrid would not consider Camavinga untouchable. Real Madrid could open doors to an exit. But it doesn't mean that Real Madrid are telling all the clubs that Camavinga, we don't want Camavinga. That's not the case. Then, also, important point to mention on Camavinga, we have to understand about the manager, because the manager situation is obviously going to impact several situations at Real Madrid ahead of the summer transfer window. Just a final touch, guys, from England. My information is keep an eye on the situation of Curtis Jones at Liverpool, because Curtis Jones is out of contract in summer 2027, and the possibility of Curtis Jones leaving Liverpool in the summer transfer window are absolutely concrete. There are possibilities. There is the chance to see Curtis Jones leaving. Inter in Italy wanted him in January and remain interested in the player, according to my sources. There are also clubs in England interested, but Italy could be an appealing destination for Curtis Jones to be sort of, just to give you a context and example, new McTominay. Scott McTominay was in England a squad player at Man United. He became one of the best players in Serie A. Eventually, Curtis Jones could consider to try to do the same with Inter. But at the moment, still nothing advanced, nothing agreed, so still early stages. What I'm saying is that at the moment, Curtis Jones has possibility in Italy, also in England. And just to give you some context, for example, Tottenham were interested in January in Curtis Jones. Now, obviously, they are in a completely different situation, but they were interested in January in Curtis Jones before signing Conor Gallagher. Then they decided to sign Conor Gallagher. So for Curtis Jones, there is going to be movement. At the moment, no agreement to renew his contract, and so it's going to be an interesting situation to follow for the summer. And so, guys, let me hear your thoughts on all these stories. Jose Mourinho, your opinion, yes or not for Real Madrid, and then Curtis Jones, and also the situation of Camavinga. Your opinion, guys, here in comments, like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon.